omens. Give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
Back on again. Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Today is another episode of our In Search of Horror. Um, Today we're going to talk about the movie The Black Phone. Now, I know we're going to play the trailer, but The Black Phone seemed interesting to me when I first saw it because of the mask. Because if you've seen it, it's what's his name? Who's the actor?
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke. So when I first saw it, I was just like, oh, okay. But even watching the movie, and which we'll get into, how the mask changed, I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe Marissa, you want to explain what the movie's about?
Okay, so I won't get too deep into the weeds of it, but the first thing that I liked about it is that the previews really didn't show much of the actual storyline, which I love, because I think part of the horror, what makes horror movies great is that you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But it's set in the 70s when apparently a lot of kids were kidnapped. And a lot of the kidnappings went unsolved because, you know, they don't have the technology that we have now. And it was terrifying back then because anybody could literally sweep you off the street because at that time, a lot of kids had a lot of more independence. You know, their parents were, you know, probably 90% of kids back in the 70s were latchkey kids. You know, their parents are working. They walked to school or took the bus to school and walked home or whatnot. And it's basically about this kid who lives in a neighborhood where the kidnappings start to happen. And the sister, it's him and his sister, and they have just their dad. Apparently their mom died in some way, and they're just living with their dad, who's an alcoholic and is very abusive. And when these kidnappings start to happen, the sister apparently is sensitive and starts getting visions and such. And so she tells the police what she's seen in her dreams. And, you know, of course, back then they were like, okay, you got to know something if you know these details. We never released it, blah, blah, blah. And then her brother gets taken. And now her brother is a very timid, bullied kid. And all the other kids that seem to have been getting taken were bullies or tough guys. So it was kind of shocking when he got taken. I mean, obviously you knew where he was going to get taken because he's the fucking kid of the show. So you knew he was going to get taken. But what I found was interesting was like, why him? You know what I mean? Because all the other kids were taken like almost immediately after a bully moment, right? For the most part. Right. So when he got taken, it was like, wow, like now it's just anybody. But what I liked about it, it wasn't, I would say it wasn't so obvious. Like the way that they did things, it wasn't very like, this is the story and I'm going to show, like, it was just the kid is gone.
Yeah.
And they would show you little snippets. And they told you about like the different things about the kidnapper, and then you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. I like that idea, and it was almost reminiscent of actual like real life serial killers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like so that part was kind of interesting that they took from real life or whatever. And what I liked also was Ethan Hawke, who was the serial killer. His character to me, the way he came across at first, you're like, is this guy retarded? like you're almost like, there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
But then as it went on, it was like, okay, is it that, or is there multiple personality thing going on, or is he just demented, or is he playing games? Is he being a clown? Like that's what I enjoyed about it. It kept you guessing.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to the things that pissed me off about the movie. But
yeah.
for the most part, like I liked the imagery. I liked the idea behind the whole kidnappings and stuff. And the idea of the phone, the reason why it's called Black Phone is when he kidnaps somebody, there's a black phone in the room he keeps these kids in that rings. But it's obviously not connected to anything because the wire is ripped out of the wall.
Yeah.
Which annoyed me a little bit because I'm like, if it was me and the phone's ringing and the wire's hooked, like you could see an exposed wire, I'm taking the phone off the wall.
Yeah.
Because it's just a trick. You know what I'm saying? Like that would like take the phone off the wall. Like, is it really not connected or are they fucking with you kind of thing, you know? So, and it seemed to me at first, the guy was intrigued about the phone ringing and wanted to see what would happen. It like, that's kind of almost what I thought was happening. And then, so when he had the kids, when the phone rang, the first time it rang, I was like, oh, this is going to be this asshole upstairs trying to torture this kid.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be. Like, he's going to sit there and mentally torture him and, you know, then he's going to come down and probably beat him up a little bit or whatever. Like, I thought it was going to be one of those type of, like, almost like torture thing.
Like
and
psychological torture.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
and then I was just like, oh, this is going to be kind of hard to watch because this is like a little kid. And
Yeah.
he's very really kind of, like, impish. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, it's going to be hard to watch. But then when you realize like who the phone calls are coming from, you're like, oh, so there's a little bit of like that supernatural thing happening here. Okay. And then you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then the jump scare starts to happen. And I had one. I have to admit, I had one. And it was but it was like minute. It was with the dog.
Oh, okay.
The dog jump scare got me. Thomas had a really great jump scare. The one with there was a one where the kid's hanging upside down, floating in the corner. Yeah. That one Thomas jumped. That one Thomas jumped too. But I like the imagery and like the way that it played with the different ghosts that appear and the level of like anger and energy that it bring, like when they started getting upset and like things started vibrating and shaking and stuff like that. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
As opposed to like visually affecting the room. You know what I mean? I liked more of like the shaking and the vibrations.
Yeah.
When they said, don't go upstairs when he left the door open, because he'll be waiting up there and he's going to whip you with the belt.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be like, so what? My dad whips me every fucking day.
Yeah.
I wanted him to go upstairs, get his ass kicked, and keep getting up and keep getting up and keep getting up, and then stab the shit out of him with that little rocket thing. Like that's what I envisioned.
The rocket thing.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even think of that. That's very interesting to me.
But then I was like, but that's predictable. You know, like I thought that was more predictable.
Not really, because the way you're saying it, I think would have been better because it's not predictable. Well, I guess in a weird hokey way it would be, because then you're like, oh, this is where he gets his balls, and then he goes all out.
That's where most stories go, because you watch him and his sister. Well, his sister really.
Yeah.
Take the belt.
The balls. Yeah.
But take the belt hard. Like she took that belt.
Well, not only that, when he was getting jumped, she took the rock and smashed one of the bullies in the head, and then she got her ass kicked too.
Shit. Yo, she got kicked in the face. It was like, okay, time out, yo.
Yeah.
She got kicked in the face. She was like, I'm gonna sit here by the
fence next to the other guy that I hit with a rock. Like, you good? All right, I'm good too. Right.
Yo, she was badass though. I love this sister. I loved her.
But you know what was funny about that? Like, even just seeing that little scene, I felt like, obviously I didn't grow up in the 70s, but I felt like it was more that way.
Yeah.
Even when we grew up, it was just kind of like, you get your ass kicked and you could be like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got my ass kicked.
But whatever. Nowadays, it's like you got your ass kicked, now you got to worry about getting shot in the face.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy. No,
but anyway, so I say that to say he went up the stairs. He looked at the dude, and him sitting there shirtless. It was kind of funny because I expected him to sit there shirtless and be fucking diesel, like fucking jacked. but
Yeah.
he had like man boobs and like dad
Yeah.
bod, and I
He
was
was
just like,
old. He's
But
old
you know
and come
what?
home.
I get that, but I love the realism of it, but
Yeah.
I half
That's what I was
expected
gonna
it,
say.
you know, like the movie aspect of like he'd be
Yeah.
fucking jacked, you know, because he has his shirt off. But he had like total dad bod, and I was like, I kind of laughed at it because I was like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. To
But it was
me,
realistic.
I like that realism too, and the fact that he was like nodding off, sleeping because
Yeah.
he was waiting for him to come up. He was like,
That was funny. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was mad funny.
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. And then when he got pissed off when the one kid gave him the clue, and he's like, "Well, what order? Like those are just fucking numbers. Like what the fuck?" He's like, "I don't know. I don't remember." He's like,
Yeah.
"God damn it!"
yeah. He was just
so
"What
fucking
the
annoying. No, and
Yeah.
what pissed me off too is there's so many times that I'm like, "Are you dumb?" Like he got the grate off the window. That would have been a win for me. Like
Yeah.
shit, I got the grate off. I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna break that fucking window. Like, duh. And then when he got into the refrigerator with the fucking meat in it, as soon as I saw what type of refrigerator it was, I was like, he's never getting out of that fucking thing. Those things, people died in those things back in the day. Like, you're not opening that shit from the inside. But then I'm like, yo, take a fucking piece of that carpet, push that motherfucker away from the wall, and run out of the garage because it was in a garage.
yeah.
Like, and I'm like, okay, this is dumb. And I was starting to get frustrated. I was so getting frustrated in the movie theater. And I'm like whispering in Thomas's ear, why doesn't he do this? Why does it?
Thomas is probably like, "Mom, stop." Don't watch the movie.
Just watch.
No,
But-
I when I first watched it, because I watched it twice now, and now they have the regular they put the movie on streaming.
Right,
But I
right.
watched the bootleg at first, and I really wanted to watch the movie because I thought the trailer was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And to see whatever Ethan Hawke be that character, I was like, oh
Yeah, because
man,
he's never done anything like that before.
no, he hasn't. And I was just like, man, I wanna see this movie. It looks good. I think maybe because when I first watched it, it was bootleg, so I was kind of like, I didn't like the ghost aspect, and I felt like it was a very short movie. I think I wanted to see more, so I was just like, all right. But then watching it again, I was like, you know what? It's different and it's cool with the ghost aspect, with the whole paranormal, and they're
Yeah.
trying to teach him what to do, but they're not giving him every single clue. Like, even though we're talking about like they found out the numbers,
Yeah.
that was a funny part to me, but at the same time, I was like, good, because it's
But
not a
see,
cop out for the movie.
Right.
Where
But
it's
you know
just
what's I mean, we all share the same thing. Like when we watch horror movies, we're so critical and
Yeah.
we wind up laughing at
Yeah.
half the shit and not really getting scared. So I'm trying to take away like I know I'm not gonna get scared. Let's put it that way. Like I know it's not gonna be scary. I'm just looking for good tension and
Yes.
good like
Yeah.
visuals
Yeah.
and things that are like that could be creepy, but not like it's not going to make me look in the backseat of my car when I go home. You know what I mean? Like those days are long gone. You know what I mean? Like
Well-
I really don't see that happening.
I don't know if they're long gone. I don't want to say that because the last one I did was when we watched Insidious 3 and I couldn't go home because I was alone. But no, I'm hoping for more of those. Like, I want to
Yeah.
be terrified, but
And I think
no,
they're making another Insidious.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
they should stop. They
Yeah.
had a good run, like Conjuring.
Yeah,
stopped,
make something
Insidious-
else. Make something else. But anyway, so irregardless. So the thing that I liked too was at the end when he's fucking beating his ass
Yeah.
and you hear the kids like all and like the way that like the phone rings and he puts it and the disbelief in his face.
Yeah,
is
when
like-
it's like the phone is ringing.
Like, no,
Yeah.
he always heard the phone ringing. He always heard it, but he never heard what was on the other end. And finally, he's hearing the voices on the other end. Like that, he knows that somebody's there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I like to hear all of that, and then the last thing that was said was like he has an arm on him or whatever the fuck the quote was, and he just
Yeah.
snapped the dude's neck, and it was just it was just so invigorating, I guess you could say. Like it was like I haven't felt that feeling in a long time since like Sandlot, where you're just like, yeah, like you know what I mean?
Did you find it funny when the last friend that died was on the phone and he was teaching him how to fight, and all I kept thinking was Scary Movie 2 when she was just like, punch, left, right. Oh man, oh, like I was
like, why are you going back in front? Why are you going back in front for? Like, what the hell? But he did have some good karate moves, I have to say, when he kicked that fat boy in the face.
Yo, I liked it. I like his character because it was just like, all right, I'm gonna do this, blah blah blah, and then when he got him down and started punching him, it was just like I was even thinking like, all right, he could stop. He was like, nope. And then when he went to the bathroom,
and he was washing his hands,
like, yo, move. And then everyone was just like, oh shit. And he started walking.
And it was just so funny because it's like the Mexican kid that knows kung fu. You know what I mean? That's obsessed with Bruce Lee. Is hilarious. Yeah.
So but I liked his character because he was just like, no, you can't let him do that. Like he was setting him up for prison. Like you can't let him bully you. You got to fucking stand up.
That is funny as well because he was trying to set him up for that.
What?
No, I was like, it definitely sounded like he was setting him up for prison.
You can't let nobody bully you. You can't do it.
But then he was just like, you got to come over and teach me math, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get it now.
Andrew, what do you think? You've been quiet this whole time.
I know.
It's all right. It was all right. I thought it could have been better. It was weird because it was too mixed up, like with the paranormal shit and then reality. It was too like that shit threw me off. Like I didn't really care for the ghosts. I didn't really need that. I would have rather him had to just figure it out himself.
But I think that
because the ghost had no purpose because they don't explain why he sees ghosts, like why his sister is like a dream warrior from fucking Nightmare on Elm Street.
Because her mom
the bitch could see shit. Like
because her mom was. Her mom was.
Yeah, but if they don't have no real explanation besides that.
Because her mom was a dream warrior from fucking Nightmare
and then
on
she
Street.
couldn't take it anymore and she killed herself. So and that's why the dad became an alcoholic, and that's why the dad beat her because she saw dreams, and he's like, "You're not going to kill yourself. I'm going to kill you before you kill yourself."
That's why the kid could see dead people. Like he doesn't.
Yeah, because he probably had a little bit in him too. Because
if the mom could see it, he probably has some of that in him. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's probably.
I don't know. Like it could have been a little bit better. I don't know.
It was like almost like a kid's horror movie. Like I think about it in the way that Freddy scared us when we were kids. This movie scared our like that age. Like when I saw Freddy, the first time I saw Freddy, I was probably like 6 or 7. So think about it, like young kids watching that movie now is probably freaked out. The mask probably freaked them out. The ghost probably freaked them out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think it's the same level of like, oh, I can get kidnapped by walking down the street. You know what I mean? Like,
I believe that, but at the same time, with the way it is now, these kids have too much technology.
But technology's not going to help you when somebody gasps.
Yeah, but half the time they on fucking live stream. Like
what?
These kids live stream everything they fucking do. So like they're gonna get kidnapped and we're gonna watch it.
Look, he's got his
you know how many people literally been on camera killing people? Like it's just a thing now. Like that's a normal thing. Yeah. Like.
But that's why I think horror movies have to be set in the past because there's no way in real life that it's scary to kids anymore. Does that make sense?
It'll never be that. Yeah, it'll never be scary like that.
I think that's why most horror movies are set 70s, 80s, even 90s when cell phones weren't a huge thing. You had beepers, you know.
Yeah.
You really didn't have cell phones that much until like the early 2000s. So for them to make horror movies for today, what's that horror movie going to look like? I think the only one that went anywhere was that one where it was like what was it, Truth or Dare, where they made you do stupid shit, otherwise you're gonna die or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I stopped following all of that shit.
It was fucking lame.
This is what it's gonna be for Comic-Con next weekend. They have the mask that with the changing faces on
Oh,
Amazon.
that's cool.
So I'm gonna do that next weekend for Tampa Comic Con.
You're going to
You
Tampa
gonna pass
Comic Con?
out.
Yeah, I should have went to the MegaCon, but they charged but that's the big one that it's in Orlando,
Yeah.
and I guess that's the like New York Comic Con, and they charge as much. But I was just like, $60 a ticket for
Yeah, but who's
Orlando?
gonna be there? But who was gonna be there?
Nobody really like.
Nobody go to Orlando.
Yeah, nobody really does.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, but I wanted to go, but it was just like $60 for a ticket. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
But I got,
that's easy because you have a black button-up shirt,
yep,
black pants. You need a red ascot. That's about it. You just need a red ascot.
I could do that.
That's
I
easy.
could do that. But back to the movie. Yeah, I kind of agree with Andrew though, because I think like some of the paranormal
the story went
took me
around
out.
too much. It was too like she was cursing out cops because she could see shit, but she couldn't see shit. Like it was just too much. Like I don't know. It was like they were trying to do one thing, then they decided another thing, and then they just went with what they had. Like that's what it just felt like. Because that was even the end. Like
So
the end, like,
it wasn't.
she just
cohesive
randomly
for
was
you.
riding the bike and was like, "Oh shit, this is the house."
No,
and then
she
the
wasn't
cops are
just
randomly
no.
there.
That's not how it happened.
That's pretty
She
much
had
how
it-
it happened. Like she seen shit, but she pretty
No,
much was
she
just
had
riding
it-
a bike.
No,
she was just riding her bike.
She had
She
a
had-
dream.
She had a
Yeah.
dream.
Dream.
No, she had a dream, but she's just riding around. She didn't have a dream and be like, "This is exactly
you
the
don't
house."
remember. You don't remember. She had a dream about the last guy, the guy who was playing the video game.
Yeah,
So she had a dream about him, and then in the dream, she was riding in the car with the guy to the exact house. She saw the
Yeah.
address of the house.
so she went
So
straight
then-
to the house.
So
Because I
then
remember
she
her running
rode-
around all the time, like looking around type ish.
But
No,
that was
she was-
before that. It was before
was
the
looking
dream.
around
After she had
for
the
the house.
dream,
Yeah.
then she found the
Mm.
number of the house. Then she rode her bike again. And then when she rode her bike, the fucking dead people stopped her. You don't remember? Like she.
Yeah, I remember that part. No, I remember that
So
part.
the dead people stopped her, and then she saw the house with the fucking creepy tree and the address. And
Yeah.
that's when she called the cops and said, "Go to this house." But she didn't realize
It was a
that's where
house
they
across
were
the street.
buried. But across the street is where the motherfucker actually was.
You know what was another
And that's
funny
still
point?
a fail. She still failed. Her power still
No,
failed her.
because the ghost showed her where they
Where they were
But
buried.
they were at
Yeah.
the wrong house. You had to go across the
Well, the
street.
ghost didn't communicate that properly. That's their fault.
Yo,
They're
you know
selfish
what's
ass.
funny?
They just
I'll
wanted
tell
to
you.
be found. They didn't want her brother to be found. They wanted them
Yeah.
to be found. They were fucking selfish.
I was
Yeah.
that was a funny part in the movie for me too because the villain's brother,
Yeah, he was dumb as
Yeah,
fuck.
that was a
because
random
he
ass
was just
character
like he was
too.
doing coke, he was doing all this shit when the cops came and he's trying to find the killer, not knowing that the killer was his brother in his own house. Like
Basically,
it was just
yeah. I was like, what kind of
whoa.
random shit was that?
But it was
But-
kind of funny because he reminded me of all those internet what do they call them? You know, those people
The
who
conspiracy theory or whatever, or like the what they called it,
the people who listen to all those like mystery podcasts and shit and they try to
Yeah,
find like the
yeah.
fucking killers. Like it just reminded me of that, but like 70s version. So he had his maps, he had newspaper clippings, he had all this shit coked out, like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
find this motherfucker before they do.
this
And
man
then
beat Ethan Hawke with a fucking phone and then broke his neck. That kid, that's bullshit. Like, come on, man.
No, you can it doesn't take much to break somebody's neck. It really
But
doesn't.
that scrawny ass kid, like Ethan Hawke, like
He
I
put
know
all
he
his weight on that motherfucker and he was in a hole. He was in a hole he couldn't get out of. And he beat that
nah, that
motherfucker
hole was
with a
man. I
weighted
was like, how
phone.
the fuck you get up in a hole? Like,
Yeah,
nah, 'cause I
but
watched
he's-
that movie like 3 times because I fell asleep twice watching it because like the bootleg was hard to stay up watching.
that's why you should have kept the movies with us. I mean, come on, Andrew. Jesus.
I know.
was so
Why didn't
much
you go
better
to
in
the
the
movies with them? Because I can't take a damn plane ride up there to see one movie.
It was so funny because when I bought the movie tickets, I bought them like a couple of days before the movie, and it was just me and Thomas. And I'm like, and then I wasn't sure if Angela could get out of work or whatever, and I was looking at the tickets on the website, and it still showed it was just me and Thomas
Yeah.
in the movie theater. And I'm like, I tell Angela, if you could get here in time, get here because nobody else is gonna be here. And there was like maybe 2 or 3 other people who showed up, and they were all single older dudes. Creeped me the fuck out, yo. It creeped me out.
It is kind of creepy to be a single older dude and going to watch that movie.
Because they were like in their 50s. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Because they're probably learning tricks. Like, you never know. They
picking up some tips. I need to get some black balloons and a black van and a gas mask. I got this.
Crazies out here.
But there were definitely a couple of times, Nikki, where I felt like me and you probably would have fucking cracked up laughing in the movie theater by ourselves like we normally do.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
We always had like good experiences, like when we were watching the Hereditary, and those 2 old women that looked like witches were just like sitting there like contemplating the movie, and I was like, I think they're fucking like they have to be witches for real, because they had like no emotion. They're just sitting there.
Terrible. That movie was so bad.
That's why they were probably sitting there wondering what the hell they watch.
Yeah.
Yo, it's so funny how these movies become like, you know what it is? It's the people online. They want this crazy, like artsy kind of thing. But when I was watching that movie, and I was just like, I'm down with different shit. Like, okay, I'll do it artsy, but it was just like, none of it made sense. The acting sucked. How is that boy in that family when everyone's lily white skin? He looks like he's Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Then you take your sickly sister, you're forced to take her to the hospital. I mean, to the party. You don't watch her for some girl. Then you
decapitate her.
She chokes on, like, she gets her fucking peanut infection.
Allergy.
You decapitate her, and then you just drive home.
Dumbass.
You just drive home after you know you fucking killed her. Drive home.
And if she has an allergy, you don't have an EpiPen? Like, seriously, you don't have a fucking EpiPen?
You don't have nothing? You go, and then, again, you just go home, you sleep on your bed. Okay, I could, suspension of disbelief. You're traumatized. So you just go and lay in your bed. You hear your mom scream, fucking bloody murder. The next scene, they're all at a fucking dinner table like nothing happened. And the father's like, it's all right. And the mother's freaking out. Like, what?
It was like that, and what was the other one with the fucking flowers and the people committing suicide off of the fucking...
That was another witch movie, but...
that was horrible, too. That was such a horrible movie.
Yeah, and everybody... That was the girl that was in the Black Widow movie, the Black Widow sister.
Pooh. Her last name is like Pooh or some shit like that.
Yeah, I like her. Don't make fun of her.
I like her.
The movie she was in sucked.
The movie sucked. She was good. It had nothing to do with her acting. The movie was horrendous.
It's just a stupid story,
Yeah. So I've been wanting to ask you guys this question for a while now. If you were to make a horror movie, what would... First, what would be your genre, and what would you like to see? Super zombies? Super zombie. Is it Marvel doing that?
Basically.
No, what's super zombies? What's that?
Nah, it was just in a weird way. Like, I'll basically, in all honesty, because like I know I like zombie shit, I just want to do a good zombie, like, out of show or a movie, like something that's actually ends with a good ending. Because I feel like every zombie thing always falls flat, like at a certain point. Like, so it never ends right.
What part of it do you think falls flat?
I feel like they don't know. It's like, it's weird. It's hard to try to wrap up the story, because how do you really end the end? Like, because that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of...
I have a thing where... I have a thing. There's 2 things with me, right? Sometimes, and I'll give you 2 examples, right? The Strangers, the first movie, freaked me the fuck out because it was so realistic. Like, it was just, and there was something super creepy about it. that made it, and it was like there was no paranormal anything. Then I get freaked out by paranormal stuff as well because there's no stopping it, right? Even though they always cop
I was
out
about to
and
say
they
that,
do
'cause you have
something
no
like
stuff that you have no control over freaks me out.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I just
like
want
it's like going to bed at night and not knowing what's gonna happen in the middle. You understand what I mean? Like
Yeah.
being woken up in the middle of the night. It can go two ways. It can go the supernatural way, and like things being able to affect you that you can't affect is fucking creepy
Yeah.
as shit because you have no control over it. Or like in the middle of the night, somebody like home invading you, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
would you really be able to? And what would be even scarier, like say like in a neighborhood like ours, where we have neighbors literally like almost arm length away.
Mhm.
Imagine getting home invaded, right? Where somebody comes in, ties your family up, does horrific things, knowing that your neighbors can hear what's going on because you're so fucking close and do nothing. Don't call the cops. Don't, you know what I mean? Like,
is that
Yeah.
is that the
kinda
genre
scary.
that you would go for?
What?
Is that the genre that you would go for?
I think, like you said, I think that or the supernatural. I don't know what would be, because I think the whole like the whole like Strangers Things is more like thriller esque,
Mhm.
but the horror part of it like is the supernatural for me, because
Yeah.
monsters are, I mean, that's done to death. Like, how many fucking monsters can you really do that are actually
Yeah.
scary? The whole like insects and all that, like it's
Yeah.
been done to death. You know what I mean? I think what really is scary is the uncontrollable and the feelingness of helpless, you know? And like the thing that I always go back to is like, you know how our house is, right? So imagine somebody coming in, knowing what you have in your house, and you can't get to anything because they caught you off guard.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, how terrifying is that? And nobody's helping. People hear and they ignore, or they hear and they go, oh, they must be playing their TV loud. Could you imagine that, having a horror movie of like people are getting tortured and all this shit in their house, and somebody's like, damn, they won't fucking turn down their fucking TV? The fuck?
Oh.
Or they hear gunshots and like, ah, some asshole's shooting off fireworks. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and it being completely disregarded. Meanwhile, you're fucking on your last breath.
Yeah.
And you could be riding it, and then you could be riding in your house for God knows how long, and nobody gives a shit because nobody cares about their neighbors anymore. So if they don't see you for a couple of days and you see your cars outside, nobody's gonna give a fuck. Nobody's gonna come knocking on your door because who gives a fuck?
But you know what?
Yeah.
And for you saying that and like being a new house owner, I have the neighbor behind me, and she's, I would say, more nosy than not. So in my head, because I'm so used to New York, I'm just like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares about what the neighbors are doing? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So you're saying that it's kind of like I agree, but at the same time, it's like I don't. In a scenario like that, I don't want people in my business. Like, I don't want my TV to be loud, or it's like, say if I have friends over one day and we're just fucking laughing, and then the neighbors come over like, hey, can you be quiet?
Yeah.
So I feel like in that sense, I could understand you, because now reverse that. Now I need help and I'm screaming help, and everyone's just like, is that a fucking this guy with his TV loud again? You know? So like, yeah, I'm fucking dying. And no one cares.
I'm fucking dying, man.
That'd be crazy to hear that. But I know that was just TV. Like, that's a very like broke down sentence right there. Said he's dying.
That was very specific. So really, like, and Andrew, do you get creeped out from zombies, or you just find zombies interesting?
No, the zombies don't creep me out. It's the aspect of the world of not being like, depending on how you get the disease, the whole actual world, like humans being different, like actually seeing true human nature, like us being us, like fuck you, survival.
It's like a restart. it'll be a restart.
I love the
for
restart
humanity.
aspect, and I like the fact that it's just what it is. Like, you know, like you're gonna see true people, and you're gonna get the fakeness, you're gonna get everything. And it's
So
like,
what
at the end of
scares?
the day,
Does
you can't
anything
really,
scare you?
like, scare me. Not
Yeah.
really. Like, when I was younger, like, shit scared me, but it was more or
But no,
less
but
like,
there's got to be something that like don't think physically, like think like abstract, right?
well,
So-
and that, I mean, like the paranormal type aspect shit would scare me if I see it, but since I don't really see it, it doesn't, like, you know.
No, I mean obviously, like we're not
Yeah.
talking about that. We're
But
talking
yeah, in
about
that way, it would scare me. Yeah, if I see it,
Yeah.
it would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, what's some shit like that?
Well, I would say you saying that though. I remember when Paranormal Activity came out, and we were still like using, like uTorrent and LimeWire to download movies for illegally.
Yeah.
LimeWire.
I remember him hitting me up one day because whoever downloaded it had a different ending, and he calls me up one day, and he was just like, "Oh my god, motherfucker! I just got freaked out." And I was like, "What happened?" And he was just like, "I downloaded Paranormal Activity, and it was a different ending." I was like, "What the fuck?"
So you got somebody's
And-
bootleg that shouldn't have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm high as fuck watching that shit. That
That
shit
was
threw
when
me
we-
off.
Funny.
But that's when leaks were like, oh my god, you got a leaked like whatever the
Mhm.
fuck, and it was just before people
Yeah.
got in trouble for that stuff.
But nah, that's why, like, honestly, like, I watched Conjuring and like Insidious, like I have all three Insidiouses, because like I like those movies creep me out. Like, if I want to like be mind fucked, if I'm getting like fucked up,
Mhm.
that would get with me. Like, I'm home alone
Yeah.
now, like watching those shits would fuck my head up.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
like, I'll
yeah.
start hearing things after that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like I tell you, I watched in the second Insidious with Brenda in Riverhead. And if nobody knows what Riverhead is like the ends of Long Island,
Yeah, no lights.
no lights. So it was me and Thomas driving home, and there's literally no street lights, so it's black as fuck. And just looking in the rear view mirror was creepy because and actually that, when I come to think about it, mirrors scare the shit out of me. Have you ever looked at a mirror when in the total blackness, like you pass by a mirror at your house, either going into the bathroom or I have mirrors all over my house, as you could see behind me. There's fucking shit. And I have like big ones.
Angelo broke that one.
And that's why I don't have man mirrors.
But you know
No
what I'm saying?
Candyman.
Like, have you ever passed by a mirror and like it's done in every horror movie because people are fucking freaked out because
A
It's
reflection
like-
is always scary.
it's not just the reflection, but the what you see in the reflection.
Yeah. That's
So
literally like when I, like you said, like driving with your rearview mirror. Like, if I watch a horror movie and I'm driving back home, I rarely look in that. 'Cause it be, like, I don't like my
I
head be
forgot
like
what-
something will pop up.
I forgot what movie we watched at your house that one night, Nikki. And me and Thomas were heading home, and we were going down Brightside. And Brightside is crackhead haven, right? And there was literally a girl bent backwards in the middle of the street, fucking
Oh.
full on meth head, just
Yo,
in
I
boxer
would've-
shorts and a t-shirt, and literally she looked like a gymnast. Her hands were on the ground and she was bent over, and I so wanted to take a video of it, but I didn't want Thomas to see what was going on, and I was just
Yeah.
like, and I couldn't help but go, oh my god. He goes, what? I said, never mind. And I just fucking ran down the street because I didn't want him to see it, but I wanted to take a video of it and send it to you guys because it
Oh.
fucking freaked me out.
It would have freaked me out too. Because
Yeah.
after we saw Insidious 3, like in the first couple scenes,
Yeah,
when the girl got hit,
yeah.
you
Was she
see
hit
the
on the car?
shadow going like this.
Yes.
Once he dropped me off, and I was living with Yahira at the time, so nobody was home, and the fucking house looked like the Amityville Horror House. It was
'cause
all
it's
black.
on a hill, and it's 2 stories, and it's
Yeah,
like,
and nobody was home. Everything was black, and he left, and I was just like, all right, I guess. And I was debating, I'm like, yo, I was trying to talk to myself, like, be a fucking man, like, just go in the fucking house.
but
Like,
not only that, you have random cats around that house.
yeah.
I would have been
Nah, it looks like the Sleepwalkers
carried
movie.
across.
They
So
got the
I-
Sleepwalker shit.
I went in my car, and something just happened in my mind, and I was like, because the rest of that street I could see behind me, and I was just like, I'm gonna see that guy going like this. I was like, hell no. Go. I started my car. I went to
Walking up
7-Eleven.
that hill on that driveway definitely gives you that horror movie vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
With all the lights off.
She had shit lighting.
Yeah.
She really.
Yeah.
There were so many times that I went to your house at night. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna kill myself going up the fucking driveway because she had no fucking lights on the driveway, and the light to her porch didn't come on until you were up on that porch.
Yeah.
I was like, this is terrible.
It was terrifying. I had to call my roommate and play it off like I asked, and it was a girl, so it was just like, hey, you coming home tonight? She's like, yeah, later on. Why? What's up? I'm at 7-Eleven. I'm just seeing if you want anything, but I was just waiting in fucking parking lot. I was so scared. I was like, I'm not going home right now.
Oh, something made me think of you. Actually, twice. Angel was coming to the house, and he's like, oh, man. He's like, Nikki would not come into this house right now. And I was like, what? There was a huge spider right by the front door.
Nice.
And then last night I went to go lock up, and there was a spider making a spider web on the screen on the door, and I had to like flick it so that it I'm like, and it was big. These motherfuckers are huge out here.
They out here eating.
They're eating. Yo, these spiders
God.
are no joke.
Thank
out here.
God I haven't seen a spider out here. Just like an hour ago, I saw a tiny baby lizard crawling on my carpet, and I was like, cool. I picked it up a little bit. And I was like, hey.
How does that even happen? Like, how do you get inside?
I think it comes through the vents because
true.
There was one time
but
I thought
those things are so adorable. Like I'm like, yeah, you can stay here. It's okay.
Yeah,
but I always like because it's like you have everything closed because they fucking have the AC on. I'm like, how the hell do they get in? And then it's like, yeah, they go through the vents. Yeah,
they go through the vents, but and then did I tell you I got 2 turtles now, Marissa?
2? Oh.
Yeah.
So they're digging up your whole yard.
No, it's not my yard. It's the yard across the street from me.
Okay.
But one day I saw like the turtle was outside, and I was like, why is it outside? Right? Like sometimes it comes out, but it was like a long time. So I went up to it to try to feed it like some vegetables and shit. And I saw that one was outside and one was inside. And I was like, oh, I got 2. So I'm thinking like, oh, they're going to mate. And then the one that was outside was just looking at me, didn't move. Because the first one, she was trying to get away. She was just like putting herself in the shell, coming out, putting herself in the shell, running. Like they were quick. This one was just looking at me like, what do you want? And I put stuff. I fed him. Oh, I say him and her, but I fed that one. And then I fed the other one. And then in the hole. And then when I fed the other one in the hole, it got mad. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? But I think they're going to mate and they're going to have babies. So I'm going to have little turtles coming around.
That's cool. I did have when you were describing that, I don't know why this thought popped in my head. But have you ever heard of the stories of like people fall asleep and like a roach will go into their ear and then like fucking like live in there or whatever? Yeah. Imagine a horror story of like somebody being down on their luck, whatever. They have to stay at this like fucking shitty hotel because they're homeless or whatever. They just get enough money just to stay the night at a hotel, take a shower, they clean themselves up, they lay down on the bed, and then all of a sudden like this fucking bug just crawls up in their ear, and then all of a sudden creates like this other fucking world because it's in your brain. So you know how like, you know, when things touch your brain, all of a sudden it like creates these like fucking different sensations and stuff. So imagine a bug in there trying to like eating parts of your brain, and you're fucking hallucinating weird shit. Could you imagine that as a horror story?
That would be fucking crazy.
Sound like
well, I know if
that happens. Do acid and watch some shit like that.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of like mushroom things on Netflix, and I'm just like, oh, what if like, you know.
I have to see for the next movie that we talk about. It's called Crimes of the Future. It's a body horror. It's a body horror film.
But what is it on?
I don't know yet. That's why I got to see if it's streaming yet.
Okay.
but it looks very disturbing. It's like it takes place in the future, and people get off on body parts. Like this guy is
Body
growing
parts.
organs from himself, and they take it from him, and they like
Like harvesting.
yeah, it's very disturbing looking. So
Okay.
I'm waiting for the Winnie the Pooh horror movie.
Yes, that's
that
gonna be
too.
fun to watch. That's gonna
too.
be
We
so much fun.
gotta.
I started
we gotta-
I started watching Uma on Netflix. It's a Korean based horror movie.
Okay.
But it's
Alright.
American. It's an American horror movie, but it's based on Korean philosophies, I
Folklore.
guess you could say. It
Okay.
has the chick, the Korean lady from she was in, oh my god, was it ER? And she was in what's that other fucking spy movie, that spy show? God damn, I can't remember the name of it, but she's popular. If you saw her, you're like, oh yeah, I know who that is. But I started watching that, and it looks. I have to finish watching it. I don't know. It
So-
hasn't captured my attention yet, but we need to discuss. So the next is going to be Uma, Winnie the Pooh,
Okay.
and what's the one that you said, Nikki?
I want Crimes of Horror. I'm Crimes of the Future. I'm gonna play the trailer real quick after
Yeah.
like we talk. But what I want to do first is, what do you guys rate this movie? This
Okay. Okay, so I think out of 10, right? We do out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Okay.
Andrew?
What about you, Andrew? You had the least to say about this movie. I don't know why.
Because there's really not a lot to say about it. But I'll say like a 7. Like it's a good movie. Like I'm not saying it was a bad movie.
Actually, that's a 7 is high for Andrew. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It was
Yeah.
like I'll watch it again. I don't hate it. I just didn't think it was as good as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew with that, but for a horror movie, I would say a 7, but for like a thriller, maybe I'll bring it up 7.5 or 8
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I feel
and I
like
think- But you know why I give it an 8? Because it was enjoyable to me. There's a
You're
big,
right.
you
You're
know,
right.
you understand what I'm saying? Like it was enjoyable, and it was out of all the horror movies that we've seen so far,
Facts. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8.
it's rewatchable. You know what I mean? It's rewatchable. There are other movies that I thought might be more creepy, but I'd watch this one again.
You're right. Thinking about that and saying that, you're totally right because all the crap that we've seen so far,
Oh my God.
and it's like this one was actually.
And poor Andrew had to suffer through most of
Yeah,
it.
I feel like Andrew was just like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like,
Yeah.
like what the fuck?
But we
No,
love
but I-
horror so much, Nikki and I, that it's just it's almost like a passion, and we will
Yeah.
watch good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, because I'll give things that look bad a shot because sometimes when it looks bad, it's really good. So
Yeah.
let me just see if I could. Let me just put that on. So this is the Crimes of the Future. So it's a body horror flick.
Okay,
So let's.
it looks like an archaic sonogram.
Mm.
She's looking through her eye. That's weird.
You don't have any body, any teeth. And teeth you need.
Oh, it's a Cannes festival. It's some French bullshit.
That we could
Yeah.
have between you.
Damn French.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like very sexual too.
David
Like
Cronenberg.
It's weird.
I don't know. He's more sci-fi. I
yeah.
thought.
Well, it's like a
okay.
sci-fi horror flick. Yeah, director
Yeah,
Crash,
but
The Fly, Dead
Kristen
Ringers,
Stewart's in
History
it.
of Violence.
If Kristen Stewart's in it,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fucking artsy and stupid.
It might be. It might be.
I mean, I like him. What's his name? He was in The Art of. Oh, Viggo Mortensen. He's
Yeah,
usually
he's good.
but this looks like some shit Angela would watch.
Yeah.
I just Kristen Stewart thing, like I'm over it. Like I have not seen one movie that I liked her in.
Yeah.
It's just,
What the hell's going
I don't
on?
know. Nikki, this
Shit,
is
it
gonna
was
be
horrible.
fucking garbage.
Yeah,
It's-
that's horrible.
Nikki, it's gonna
So,
be
well,
garbage.
most like,
See if you can
yo,
bring up
there's
the other.
another horror movie.
No, bring up the other ones that bring up
The
the
other
Winnie
what?
the Pooh, and then bring up Uma.
Winnie
Bring up
Winnie the Pooh
Winnie the
doesn't
Pooh.
have. Look,
It has a
look
trailer.
at that. Look at that. Winnie the Pooh doesn't have a trailer.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Just Google, just look it up, see if it does.
No.
Uma, UMMA, Uma. Uma horror movie. Excuse me if I look glistening. I'm fucking sweating
Hold
my
on.
ass off right now. It's so fucking hot.
Stop sweating so much.
Andrew
man.
feels
got-
me,
It got a little cooler. Like there's a breeze now. That's not bad.
but it's
But it's
gotten
still
humid.
fucking hot.
Like it needs
Yeah.
to fucking rain
That's why
already.
you guys gotta move to that central AC. It's great.
Fuck you, Florida.
Nigga,
Fuck you.
that's just money.
The first one. The first one. God damn it.
I just did the first
How come
one.
we're in New York in the colder climate and he is comfortable and we're fucking dying?
Yes.
It's not fair.
Central air. Central air.
Ugh, I bet you would die if you walked outside for 3 seconds.
Basically, they're not built for this weather. We're stronger than them.
No, it's actually nice right now.
I actually want to go to the
You're
beach
stronger
regardless of
than-
the shark issues that's happening right now.
I've seen a video of some dude got his finger bit.
Yeah, they're like all over Fire Island, fucking. I haven't heard any at Robert Moses, but I did hear Jones Beach, which is close enough. Smith Point.
You know what I'm doing for my birthday, Marissa?
What?
I'm
What?
swimming with
Tell
the
me.
sharks.
What? You're
I'm
crazy.
swimming with the sharks. Yeah. I tried to get his cousin to come, but they don't have the one I'm going to doesn't have a cage. And we swim with bull sharks and they're supposed to be aggressive. So Chris is like, nah, I
I
don't
hope
think
you
I'm
have your
going.
wool together,
And I was
bitch.
just like, come on, you pussy. I was just like, yeah.
I
but
could not
might do that by
imagine Chris
myself.
doing that. I could
Swim
not
with
imagine
sharks,
Chris
baby.
doing that.
Swim with sharks.
You need
I mean,
to,
I don't really get the appeal of it, but I guess.
You need to get Steve or Chris or White Chris.
It's
to go with
exciting
you.
and
I don't
different.
I understand that.
I mean,
but
I get it's different, but I don't get the
No, I don't-
excitement. Like, cause you're just swimming in water with sharks around you,
but you need
hoping
to
that they
have,
don't kill you.
Yeah, but you need to have Chris or Steve go with you. White Chris
I'm
or
lonely and by myself. That's the excitement.
Like, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, that's your excitement. Like, you're gonna be there hoping like they don't kill you, and we don't get calls knowing that you got killed by
Steve.
sharks.
Okay, just watch this trailer. Don't become your mother. Don't become your mother.
It's already got me mad. Damn trip.
Hold on a second.
Oh my god, your shit is
I'm
terrible.
gonna rewind it, and hopefully it's not fuzzy.
Don't become your mother. Official trailer.
Oh, that girl was on
See,
what is it
the
called?
mom
General Hospital or something like that?
not General Hospital. She was in ER. The mom?
Yeah, ER, whatever. They're all the same thing.
Yeah. But she doesn't use electricity because her mother usually torture her with electricity. So she's like off the fucking grid. She makes honey and shit.
I want to get off the grid.
You do not.
And you're gonna make honey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
honey.
The daughter abandons her own mother.
The The kind that her mother fucking abused the shit out of her with fucking electricity. That's the kind. And they tried to make this white girl look Asian with fucking eyeliner. That's not how it works, motherfuckers. Find a fucking actual
They
Asian
put
chick.
tape in her eyes so they can make her like a little
And a little
Asian-y.
thick and a little thick eyeliner. Come on now, do better.
Yeah. Stop being racist, Hollywood. Oh, the Loki mask from The Mask. Oh, that's a
Yeah,
dope
they bring
mask.
like
I ain't
some
gonna
Korean
lie.
mask. I don't even know if that's actual like Korean mythology. She has to fucking bury the fucking shit.
I doubt it.
Fuck your mom. Here's your
Oh.
ashes.
This March.
Damn, it can't March.
Hey.
Bullshit. It was on Netflix like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that was last March. That's why
I
I
see.
gotta watch it.
Nobody
So
took
we'll
us to
talk
the
about
movie
this one
theater.
next.
Okay, and then now go to the Woody the Pooh.
Oh, don't kill the chicken. Come on.
So become your
This
mother.
goddamn buffering bullshit. Your mother. You gotta the accent. Mother.
Your mother. All right, put in the Woody the Pooh.
I need a new CPU with this crap.
Yeah, you do. You're terrible.
There is no Winnie the Pooh. CPU
I wish there was a way
bullshit.
for me to take over.
I wonder if there is. There has to be something. There has to be something. Huh. Let me see if I could do something here. Come on, fucker. And it might not. No. See if I can make Marissa the
There is a trailer.
guest. Okay. Bullshit. There's not a trailer. Hold on. What's it called? Blood and Honey, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it was called.
I wonder if I could share this clip with you.
Is there an option to share screen?
I don't know.
Look on
Yeah,
the bottom.
there is. Yeah, share.
So then do it. All right,
Okay,
hold on
share
a second.
screen.
I'll get rid of mine. Hold on. Now try to.
Brace yourselves. Monstrous versions of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are on their way.
We don't
Hi,
see
everyone.
it.
It's Tanya Kim, and you're watching Collider News.
Come on, Marissa.
Okay.
We don't see it.
Okay. Sorry. Hold on.
Andrew, wake up, fucker.
Okay. Give me a second.
Oh, there you go.
Can you see?
I see. Hold on.
All right,
yeah, I
there's a
see it.
commercial.
I'm
Hold
gonna
on.
add it right now.
Well, folks, it's official.
Oh, it's somebody else's
My
fucking
childhood
bullshit.
is completely ruined. Completely.
I'm gonna try to skip it.
Melissa ruined it.
That
See, Andrew, you could do it now when you want to play your video games. Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
talking about the stills. I told you they
Yeah.
didn't have the trailer.
Damn. It smells like a. Yeah, it's just images. Oh wait, Winnie the Pooh official trailer. Look at that. Official trailer.
I don't think it's not real. That's not even Winnie the Pooh, Marissa.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, official trailer.
Yeah, that's not right.
I'm still trying to find the Ant-Man trailer.
I'm gonna do this just to get a whole bunch of views. Is just make a trailer up of a sink and an axe.
All right, handprints in a tub. That's dumb.
With the Winnie the Pooh thing faded out in the background. Marissa, this isn't real. This is definitely not real.
This is just retarded.
That's some good editing.
I'm gonna do this. I gotta figure out how to edit correctly. This will be fucking hilarious.
We could promo our own fictitious horror movie this way. This is
Yes.
terrible. That was terrible. Oh, that's funny.
Compartí el póster de esta película que está dando
Oh,
mucho de qué
shit.
hablar. Me voy a quitar para que puedan ver.
Well, you gotta share it again if you're gonna do it.
No. That's it.
Yo, you gotta look up the plot for Ant-Man. Because remember, the shit that I was just telling you before?
Yeah.
Like, that's apparently that's the plot. Not the shit where he says, like, that he killed Ant-Man before, but the other shit where apparently the Wasp, she was originally trapped in there, remember, in the first movie?
Yeah.
That she was fucking around with him apparently in there, and then whatever. Yeah, so, like, read it, because it's hard to break it down. But, like,
Wait.
there's mad shit about it.
Wait, Ant-Man, when he was in the other world, messed
No,
with the
the
girl's
Wasp
mom?
chick, when she was in the other world.
The
Michelle
original
Pfeiffer,
Wasp.
her character, the original one, was
Mhm.
fucking with one of Kang's variants. That's what they're saying.
Ah,
They're saying that's gonna be one of the plot for Ant-Man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I love the Ant-Man movies. I mean, he's just great. Like, he's just
Yeah,
such
no,
Oh,
those
man.
movies are funny. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. So
Well-
that was the Black Phone review and some other bullshit, I guess we could call it.
Yeah.
Black Phone review and some other bullshit.
I would say, to be honest, though, if anybody's watching this, to watch it. I think it was a fun
Yeah,
movie. It's
it was
very
fun.
rewatchable. It's quick. It's not perfect, but it's quick.
But it's
pretty
so
quick.
good.
Yeah.
It's good
Basically.
for what's been out so far.
Yeah. Well, definitely what's been out so far. So, we got to watch Nope.
I don't want to, but I know we have to.
I gotta
just,
see. I gotta see if
Ugh.
it's bootleg.
you know what? It's just they tout Jordan Peele as being like this great horror movie, political. All his movies are shit. Like they're all shit.
They're
He
not all.
fucked up Candyman. He fucked
Oh,
up Candyman.
he didn't. He didn't direct Candyman.
What did he do?
He was just. It's like what they do with Quentin Tarantino.
So he's just a producer.
Something like probably. It's just like every time like they're like, oh, Quentin Tarantino liked this movie. It's just for hype.
Okay.
I think he wanted to do Candyman, but he didn't. It was a different director. I think it was a female director. But
Whatever.
the only two movies he did was Get Out and Us. Get Out
Okay.
was really good.
In
Us-
your opinion. In your opinion.
I don't think Get Out was as good as we all thought it was when we first watched it.
No.
No, I love that movie. Still,
Us sucked.
Nah, it went from a high number to me to like a mid number, like where it was like,
but
you know
why
what, this was
though?
kind of easy.
No, he fucked that up. He fucked up them. He fucked up fucking when he redid Twilight Zone. Oh my god, I love Twilight Zone.
But
and
did he
he-
direct? Did he direct?
Yes,
Twilight
he
Zone?
directed a lot of Twilight Zone, and he was the voice of Twilight Zone. So he had his hands in it. It was terrible. It was all terrible. He's not great.
agree with the
Stick to
Twilight Zone.
fucking comedy. Get the fuck out of horror. You don't know what horror is, and you want to bring horror into the culture, as you say. It's not scary. None of it's scary. What are you
I know.
doing?
I heard this one is not a horror film,
It's
but
supposed to be
it's supposed to be-
comedy-ish.
It's
They're
supposed to be comedy,
all-
but it also has like a twist where it's not like what
Oh,
everyone
he's
expects.
trying to be M. Night Shyamalan. He's not M. Night Shyamalan. Get the fuck away. Go
Yeah,
away.
how can you do a twist with more aliens? Are the aliens gonna be
The
white?
fucking aliens. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be it's gonna be the government is actually abducting people of color in the desert, not allowing them
Yes.
to do their own shit. If that's what it is, I'm gonna flip my shit.
That's the only reason I
would-
want to see. I want to see what's the stupid twist to the aliens. That's the
Yeah.
only reason I want to see it.
I don't think
M.
it-
Night, even
I-
M. Night dropped the ball after a while. You can only do so much.
Well, M. Night. Well, one for the Nope. I don't think it's a twist. It's just that it's supposed to be different. It's not supposed to be a horror film. It's different. That's what I
Even
heard.
if it's an alien
But
film,
what-
it doesn't look interesting.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh,
And-
if you
and-
look at it, it's gonna take you. So don't fucking look at it. Stay in your
Yeah.
house. Stay looking at your phone like everybody else fucking
And
does.
The
Like,
fucked up
it's
thing
so
about
dumb.
M. Night is like I felt like he came out with Sixth Sense and it blew up. He came out with Unbreakable, which I thought was great.
Amazing.
No, nobody talked about it.
Even Lady in the Water or Woman, what was it?
Everyone hates that. I kind of
like
like it.
I like it.
But then it was like the same thing. It came out Lady in the Water, nobody liked it. Village, nobody liked it.
The Village.
Avatar, nobody liked it.
That wasn't M. Night Shyamalan. That was James
Avatar was-
Cameron.
Avatar?
No,
It
The
was-
Airbender one.
no. I'm sorry, Airbender. My bad.
Airbender.
And
But
then,
that was he went into a new genre at that point. Like
yeah,
that
but
was different.
it was like, all right, he went through M. Night, did all this shit, and he just kept going downhill. Then, and me and you were in the theater, Marissa, when we saw this, and I think Andrew was there too. The Visitor, when he made that movie, that doesn't get that the praise it should. I was like, yo, what the fuck? When I
No,
was in
that
the
was a
theater-
good movie, but it wasn't as popular. Yeah, it wasn't because it was already on. He was on a downfall, and then
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
movie
but then
brought
he
him up.
did. Yeah, but then he did Split.
Split
Yeah,
right
but
after
Split came
that.
after Visitor.
Yeah,
And
and
that
then it was
was-
high as fuck. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's when it was just me and Marissa. I freaked out when I heard the fucking Unbreakable theme, and then I was just
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And then you have Mr. Glass, which was fucking crap, and that was his last movie, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck,
Yeah.
fuck, you
Yeah,
were
but
going
there's-
up."
But to me, I haven't seen Jordan Peele do anything astounding to me yet that puts him in that level. And it's honestly, it's gonna make me sound like shit, but they only put him in that upper echelon because he's black and he's doing horror, and he's the only black man doing horror.
No, I would agree with you if
What other
Get
black
Out
man is doing horror?
wasn't if Get Out wasn't good, they would have shit all over him. They wouldn't have gave him a
One
chance.
out of four
Three.
movies.
3.
Oh,
He
3.
didn't-
I'm still counting Candyman. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So one out of
Candyman's not
3.
his.
1 out of 3 does not count.
Well, none of us, to be fair, none of us seen Nope yet.
It
but-
looks like shit.
It does. But think about okay, if you're gonna equate him to M. Night, M. Night's last movie was that stupid island movie was Old.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
movie
something
was
like that.
garbage.
That was a waste of my
I
time. Yeah.
liked the concept. It just
I
wasn't.
hated it. I hated everything about
I
that
hated
fucking
everything about
movie.
it. It
The
didn't make any
concept was
sense. Why are they
okay.
getting old? Because they went to the beach because of some
No.
weird government thing? Like, come on, man.
It was
Niggas swam on the water to the other side and won.
It was the government experimenting for the greater good, and then people destroying it because
Where the hell? How does that go? Like I deadass did not see any. I guess I hated it that much that I did not even realize any of that. I was just like, they're on an island. They're
the
dying.
government was using that island, or not, maybe not the government, but maybe it was like
There was people watching
some
them. Yeah,
shadow
that's all I got.
organization using it to create cures for diseases, and they were just using these rich fucking bullshit people as their experiments because that's all they
But
were
how the hell
killing.
did the girl get old then?
What?
How do they get older then?
It was
What
part of
makes them
the
turn older?
because it was what the food that they were giving them was
It
what-
had shit in it.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed
Yeah.
that then. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
food-
I didn't like get
The
that.
food,
I'm like, why
the
would they
food
be
and
getting
drinks
old?
that's why they were like, oh, you're only allowed this drink and this person's only allowed that drink because they kind of took their profiles and kind of like experimented with them specifically
Yeah,
for
I get
these
you.
things. So
Movie still sucked, but I got what you're saying.
I kind of like the concept, but the execution was horrible.
I
The
didn't like the
execution was
concept. You know what
I
I like?
didn't-
But
Go
even
ahead.
they did something similar with what was that Netflix movie with Chris Helmsworth, where he had an island of convicts who he was doing experiments on. Did you guys watch that movie?
Oh yeah, that wasn't too bad.
No.
That
I
wasn't
don't
too
know.
bad, but it was almost the same concept of like the government is trying these experimental things and
we should talk about that one. Maybe that'll be one of the ones that we do soon.
It wasn't like horror or what. It was more. I don't even know what to call that.
It was on the same aspect of that movie Machina.
Yeah, it was similar to that. Yes,
it was very similar to that, but it was interesting in the sense that like you're putting criminals in this weird jail on an island, and you're testing their emotions. So you put this thing in their back, and they feed you certain emotions. But Chris Hemsworth was the scientist, and he would like put you in a room, and if you're like, he's just testing, I guess, the chemicals.
Yeah.
To make you like, all right.
They would be like,
we're gonna put two people that hate each other, and then we're gonna make them have sex because they have, this weird thing, or we're gonna make them fight.
They wanted to test mood enhancers for people.
Yeah.
So in order to control the populace.
Specifically, yeah.
Yeah. They wanted to control the populace because if you look at like even like Firefly, they touched on that a little bit, where they want to find what chemicals they could put into foods and whatever else that would control the population into being more docile.
Yeah. See, that movie interests me. Maybe we just have to make a separate podcast, because I was talking to my other friends. Maybe we have to make a few other podcasts, but one specifically movie.
It could be the same thing, but it's because it's just movies, It's just
But what was I going to say? The other thing I got mad about, right? Because if just going back to M. Night Shyamalan and how like the reason why I give him somewhat credit is because remember when that movie Bird Box came out?
I read the book. I didn't watch the movie because it didn't warrant it. Like I read the book. The book was okay, and I'm like, why would they make this a movie?
All right, so do you remember the movie Happening that M. Night Shyamalan made? It's the same.
Sandra Bullock, right?
Yeah. Well, Bird Box is Sandra Bullock. The Happening is Mark Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
No, not Nick Damon.
No, Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg, yeah.
Yeah. Say hello to your mother for me.
Yeah. So when I watched Bird Box, I was just online and I saw how everyone was praising it. Oh, this movie is great.
I knew it was going to be terrible. Just like I knew Gone Girl was going to be terrible because it was a terrible fucking book.
To me, it was just like, yo, how is everyone saying this is great, and then The Happening is the worst fucking movie ever?
Same shit.
So, it's the same exact shit. No one knows why people are killing themselves, but they're killing themselves. Yeah. The only thing is one person puts a blind over their face so they can't see something that they never explained in the movie.
Right.
So
because they don't explain it in the book. That's why. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, to me, that's why it bugs me, because it's kind of like online shit, because I want to see a good movie online. But fucking to me, it's just like, fuck. I can't believe anybody because of that. Like, you're going to tell me Happening is good, but Bird Box sucked, but they're the exact same movie.
Yeah.
And then someone said to me, I think someone commented, I don't know, that was years ago, but someone commented and said the reason why it's better. And I was just like, how the fuck is that better? Like, she has to put a blind over her head. She doesn't know what's killing her. Nobody knows what's killing her. It's like hell on earth. Yeah. Everyone's just killing themselves.
You know what's funny? I read I had a phase where I was reading. It was when books online started becoming popular, and I got Bird Box free, like digitally, through maybe Kindle or one of those apps or whatever it was. And it was like a short book. It was really easy to read. It was like whatever. It was okay. Like, it was okay.
Yeah.
But when I heard that they were making a movie out of it, I'm like, why?
Exactly.
Why? Like,
why?
It just didn't make sense to me. And the same thing with like Gone Girl. Gone Girl was one of those books that traveled around as like, oh my God, Oprah loved it and this one loved it and it's a bestseller and oh my God, it's such a great book. And I got it just to see what the big deal was, the same way you would watch a movie because you heard all the hype about it.
Yeah.
And I read the whole book, and after I read the ending of the book, I fucking threw the book. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Son of a bitch.
I was like, I spent all this fucking time reading this goddamn book, and that's how it's gonna end? Like, that's how it's gonna end?
See,
fuck this book. I was so annoyed.
Somebody, do you remember the old man I used to work with on my second job when I was out there?
Yeah.
He used to read Stephen King. So he would say the problem with Stephen King is that he has no endings. Like his endings always suck. Like the books start out good and it's getting good, and then the ending he doesn't know what to do.
That's why the movies have always been so controversial, because they made an ending.
Yeah, but he joked with himself in It Part 2, the new one, where he was just like, yeah, but the ending sucked. Like he was the store owner or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think he knows, but to me, it's like, I feel personally, I never wrote a book or a script or anything, but I feel like you kind of have to know the ending. Like if you know the beginning, like you got to know where you want to end it, because how are you going to make a book? Like the concept doesn't relate to me.
There's two types of writers. There's a type of writer that knows where they want to end, and then they build their story to the ending.
Yeah.
And there's other people who know their story, but don't necessarily know how to end. But those people who don't know how it ends wind up sometimes making sequels to their stories because they just leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a different skill. But the problem with Stephen King's books, I think, for me anyway, trying to read them, they're so long-winded that you just want it to end. You know what I mean? It's like reading it. And
shut the shit off.
Oh God, I get it. Fucking move on, you know. But and the same thing if you look at like when he actually directs his own stories and when other people direct his own stories, it's hugely different. Like Misery, for example. And what's the other one? The one with the hotel. Fuck.
I know what you're talking about.
The Shining. He hated The Shining, but that's like to me one of
the greatest
horror
movies of all time.
Yeah, and Stanley Kubrick did it, and Stanley Kubrick strayed a little bit from the book, but it was because he knows how to tell a story.
Yeah,
like if you see every other Kubrick movie.
I would say Stanley Kubrick, I think he's one of those directors that are on and off for me, because I look at like, all right, 2001 Space Odyssey, it's fucking impossible for me to get through it. It's like, God damn, this movie's so long.
That's one of Angela's favorites. It's a visual masterpiece. Like it's visual, like if you're
for its time.
Yeah, like if you're like the art, but watching Clockwork Orange, like Angela read the book. I read the book after I saw the movie, and the endings are different.
Yeah.
And I think Angela liked the ending of the book better than what Kubrick did, but I think cinematically that's what he had to do.
Okay. See, Clockwork Orange is hard for me to watch.
It's a hard movie for anybody to watch.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal.
Yo, the rape scene is like.
But when you get through his like even what was that army movie?
I
can't think of it.
All I can think of is Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. The beginning, perfection. After Private Pile kills himself, garbage. Like I didn't like the rest of the movie.
You didn't like Suck It Long Time? Suck It.
No, I only liked it because Two Live Crew put it in their song.
Yeah.
But after that,
it was literally like two different movies.
It
The
was.
first
That's
half
why I
of the
didn't like
movie-
it, because I felt like the beginning with Private Pile and the
Yeah.
training and Private Joker and all this stuff was cool. And then what was the other movie he made right before he died? The last movie was with Tom Cruise.
Oh. Vanilla Sky.
No, that wasn't his. God damn it. It was like a Illuminati-esque movie. It had to do with like
with the faces.
yeah.
Oh my god, why
damn it,
can't I
forgot.
think of the name of that movie?
I don't know, but I didn't like that movie either. Like the whole movie I didn't like. I was just like, because it was like a little sex thing and
Yeah.
being a part of that weird group. It was just funny to see online that everyone talks about the hints that he gives, like, oh, in The Shining, they show that he directed the moon landing, and then in that movie that I was just talking about with Tom Cruise, it's all about the Illuminati, and then the Full Metal Jacket had to do with Disney because that's why at the end they were singing the Disney song, had to do with all that shit. Like they always had these weird conspiracy theories with him, but I feel like he's not one of the greatest. Like I think Shining visually, to me, is fantastic. Like the whole movie I could watch,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's
He
not-
also did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
he
which
did
was
that
great.
too.
Yeah. That was
It was sad watching that one though.
I don't care. That was a great movie.
It was a great movie, but it was just sad because the ending, like, oh.
Hey, there's a lot of sad
man.
movies I like. What's the one? The one with Robin Williams when his wife commits suicide and then he dies, and he goes to find her in the afterlife.
The fuck movie is that?
What? You've never seen that movie?
No, I want to watch it now.
Oh my god. Let me look it up 1 second. Robin Williams. What was the name of that movie?
Yo, Andrew, if you don't talk, I'm gonna cut you off, son.
Yeah, participate, motherfucker.
He doesn't watch movies. He only watches shows.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you in a second. Damn, Robin Williams has been in so much shit. It's not even in his like.
And you know what's funny? I think his acting is good. Because have you seen that 1 hour photo when he was like that psychopath?
Yes.
Like, and I think there's another movie when he's a psychopath. I gotta look it up.
It's the one where it's with De Niro, and they're in Alaska. They're in Alaska, and he's a serial killer.
Yeah, that's the one I want to watch.
Hold on. Holy shit! He's been in Insomnia is the one in Alaska. What Dreams May Come is a drama. His wife kills himself and then he dies, I guess cancer or whatever the fuck. And when he goes to heaven, he finds like his kids die. It's like his kids die, his wife dies, and then he dies. It's fucking tragic. It's like I want to stab my eyeballs out kind of movie, but it's good.
You know what's funny? Like those kind of movies, sometimes I like them, sometimes I hate them. Like that movie Click with Adam Sandler.
Oh my god!
And I was just like,
the thing with Click is it was advertised as a comedy.
Yes, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Because I was just like, yeah, it's gonna be
Watch it.
funny, like Waterboy or something, and then it was just like, I want to kill myself right now. Like,
Exactly.
he just let his whole life go past and all that.
It's terrible.
That's fucking crazy.
But What Dreams May Come, watch that shit. You're gonna cry. It's okay. And then call me.
I live alone now, so I can cry again. When Dad was here, oh my god.
Andrew, have you ever watched a movie that you ever shed a tear to? I'm just curious.
Yes, of course.
No, Andrew.
Andrew. Oh, Andrew doesn't.
Have you
know what
ever
tears are.
watched a movie that you shed a tear to? I don't care if it was Bambi when you were a kid,
No.
Pinocchio.
Why would I cry for a movie?
Because you actually felt emotion in your heart.
No, I don't cry for fake things. Like,
It's not that it's fake, it's just that it evokes emotion. Okay, have you ever listened to it? Because you're a music head. Have you ever listened to a song that made you feel a kind of way and got you choked up? Maybe not shed a tear, but you're like, ah, that fucking hit right in the.
not really. Like, not like that. Like, not to the point where it makes me feel like some weird way. Like, that's weirdo shit.
Okay, no, it's not weirdo shit. It means that you've never been in
Marissa,
love and you've
Marissa?
never
No.
had a real.
Because that's like,
Marissa,
because you're
it's
trying
one of
to
these
say
things-
that you could compare yourself to what somebody else is feeling. I don't
Yeah,
know. I can
like
never feel
normal
what someone
people
else is
do.
feeling. I can
Like-
only feel what I feel.
No, this
So
is this,
you don't have
this is
compassion
the
or
reason.
empathy. Is that what you're saying?
this- yeah.
Like,
No compassion or empathy. It's okay.
Listen, this is the reason why he doesn't like movies, and this is the reason why I do. It's the fact that when it's a good storyline and it's good acting, and you could be when you escape, when you're in the movie and you could feel something like this character is going through. All that stupid shit you're not thinking of, oh, this is fake and this is bullshit. You're in the movie. Like, you're in the movie and you're thinking, like, yeah, this is what I would fucking do and say. And blah, blah, blah. That's when you start like getting choked up and tear up a little bit because you're like, oh my God, if I had to do with this. That's why I always bring up that scene in Prisoners where Hugh Jackman was getting followed by Jake Gyllenhaal, the cop. And he came in and he started punching the steering wheel and he was bang, look for my fucking daughter, motherfucker. Stop
Right.
looking for me. And I was just like, oh shit, that's acting. Because it was just
I'm gonna
like,
send you
that-
a top 10 of people doing shit like that. That's like to get
Okay,
connected to
let me
one
ask-
thing.
no, but see, the problem is
Andrew, let me
when
ask
you
you a
watch,
question.
you got to watch the movie so you could be entrenched of what's going on. So when I was
Okay,
watching
Andrew,
that movie,
hold on. Time
Okay.
out. I'm going to
Yeah.
ask Andrew a very poignant question. Because
okay,
if this doesn't get you, your heart is made of stone. I don't know. what to
Mr.
tell you.
Man retired.
No.
Is there a tear?
Nah, like, that's a
No,
normal
no, no.
human thing. I'm surprised
No,
you
no, no.
fucking do.
No. Boys in the Hood. When your man's got
Ricky!
yes. Did you at least feel a little bit like, oh fuck?
Nah,
My
that was
boy.
his fault. He was slipping. Ricky killed himself.
All right, so Marissa, he's bullshit.
You can't tell me Ricky ain't killed himself.
He's bullshit.
He wasn't walking like sleeping like, oh, niggas weren't trying to shoot him. Oh, I'm gonna play scratch offs. Like, fuck out of here. Like,
See,
I
but
know
this is the
niggas gonna
problem.
try to
So
shoot
do you
me driving
feel
around the
more-
hood.
do you
The
feel
last
more
thing I'm doing is
sympathy?
looking down at the scratch off.
Do you feel more sympathy with Men's Society when your man's got gunned down on his front porch?
Yeah.
When he was
I
about to-
technically no, because that's their fault too.
Yo,
Look at he,
Andrew's
yo.
bullshit.
Look at he.
I'm telling you, Andrew's bullshit. Because I'm pretty sure you watch Boys in the Hood alone, he'd be like, fucking
Nah,
Ricky, man.
listen,
Like,
Boys in the Hood, I
no.
feel more for Ice Cube than I do for Ricky.
No, you know
Really?
why though? No,
Yeah.
wait. Let me
Ice Cube got
explain
the
this.
short end of the stick. He was
This
the
is
bad
why-
one. When Reddy, he was out here doing real shit. He was a real
See,
one.
this is why
And that's
you
why
would
his
hear.
brother got killed
No,
because he got treated
Marissa.
like.
Yeah, it's
fuck
his
bad
fault.
one.
So you don't
No,
feel
no.
empathy for Ice Cube, how he felt because it was his
I
fault.
feel bad for
his
Ice
brother
Cube.
got
I said
fucked
I don't
up.
feel bad
No,
for
no,
Ricky.
no.
You asked me about Ricky.
See, the thing is, this is how you gotta. This is what you gotta do, Marissa, because he's gonna play that thing. Okay, it was Ricky's fault, right? So he's like,
It
I
was.
shed a tear for him, but then you gotta ask like, how did what was it, Trey and Ice Cube feel? Then that's probably when he shed a tear because that was his friend seeing his stupid, well, for him, his stupid ass friend scratching off a ticket.
Listen, why are
Like
you
he
playing
died
with
in his
Franco?
arms. Then he
It's
probably
cool.
shed a tear like, I'll fucking kill for you, man. Like
He literally looked at him like Cuba Gooding Jr. looked at him like, "Yo, we're gonna go this way, do this," and man, he killed himself. I don't care. Like, I try to feel bad for that scene, but every time I watch it, I was just
Okay.
like, You
But
slipping.
the fact that
Did
you
you feel
can't even go
anything
back
because
to your
he was-
childhood and cry a tear for Bambi's moms. It was
Honestly, I don't even
Bambi's
remember
mom was
Bambi.
fun.
Marissa, he's
You
not
probably have
gonna
a better
admit.
chance of Land Before Time than Bambi.
Yeah,
honestly.
Land Before Time was so
Yeah.
sad. Aw.
that when he was like, "Mom," oh
Yeah. Bambi, I have no idea. I don't remember Bambi. I could get two shits about Bambi.
yeah, Land Before Time. I'll give you
Yeah.
that one. Land Before Time.
Like-
That was fucking. I can't watch it because of that scene because I know
You
he's
know,
like, "Mom."
Every
and then-
time we used to go to this one laundromat when we were kids. I don't even know if Nikki would remember this, but this one laundromat had like a kids zone where they would have a VCR, and every time we went, it was Land Before Time over and over and over. And me and Petey watched it every single time.
that
Every
was my
single
movie.
time. It was like the laundromat only had Land Before Time, and then it just played in loop over and over again. It was a sad. It's like recently they had like The Good Dinosaur, which The Good Dinosaur was fucked up too. The Good Dinosaur was like, if you ever watch that movie, it's like The Lion King and Alice in Wonderland and like a bunch of Disney movies all wrapped together. Because there's a scene where the dad was like, "You're a piece of shit," and then like his dad dies, and then like he eats some fucking wild berries and has a fucking acid trip. It's like a weird fucking movie, but it was like one of those that I'm like, are we really watching this with like little kids right
Yo.
now? Like, this is crazy.
I don't know if that was Pixar or not, but Pixar, I can't be with them because every time because I like animation, but every time I see it, like even I think the last one was Soul, and I was watching, I'm like, okay, and I was like, so you make a movie about a guy who didn't get nowhere in life, and he had one passion,
And it was
and then he
playing
falls
backbone
down a
or
fucking
something.
sewer drain, dies, and comes back as a fucking cat. Like, you asshole. And I was just like watching a movie like, this is so depressing. He comes back as a cat and he has to learn to love life for what it is. And then
Pixar's always been fucked up though. Brave Little Toaster was fucked up.
I
Iron
don't
Giant was
remember it. I
fucked up.
remember it, but I don't remember the storyline.
They're all fucked up. They're all
They
fucking-
all are though,
of
because
them.
even Up, I was Up is the worst movie ever. To me, I'm just like, yo, how in the first 5 minutes you're showing a motherfucker
falling in love, getting
falling in
married,
love,
losing
trying
his
to
life,
have a baby. She has a miscarriage. This is a
and
kid's
then
movie.
dies.
She has a miscarriage, then dies after, and now he's a miserable old fuck.
Yeah.
How is that
Hey,
a
sounds
fucking
like you,
kid's
Andrew.
movie? I was just like, no, I'll be him. I'll be the old.
He's so
miserable old
ignoring me.
fuck.
I fucking so rude. I want to flick you in your fucking bald head right now.
Yeah, he's just trying to play a character. It's all right. He's playing the character for
character.
you too. This
Fucking
motherfucker
hot.
cries on the daily. He cries on the fucking
hot out
daily.
here. Talking
Hey,
about
is
Up,
that
like,
your
nigga,
new
you think I
song?
sat down and
Is that-
watched Up? Like, do I look like a nigga that was gonna sit there and watch fucking Up? Like,
Watch up and stop being a bitch.
no. So he's
Get
on
in tune
time.
with your emotion.
No, but the way he said it's hot out here, I'm like, that song, it's hot out here for a
yeah,
pimp.
Kelly. Yeah.
That's his new song. It's
True.
hot out here. Anyways,
Fucking-
all right, guys.
Yeah, you guys need central air because you guys are both sweating. I'm just like,
I know. Look at us listening. Look at us listening.
All right, so anyways, like, follow, subscribe. This is our review of Black Phone, even though we stopped talking about it about like an hour and a half ago. Started going on
Well,
a
we
rant.
haven't been together in a long time, so
Hell yeah. But we're gonna definitely come up with new movies. Maybe I'm gonna watch it tonight.
okay.
That Don't Be Your Mother movie.
Yeah, I'll
Well-
finish watching it too.
He's gonna fall
Oh,
asleep.
you-
watching it.
Andrew told me about this, but I recently watched it. Watch X also. It's like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's just called
slash-
X.
It's called X. It's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and porn. That's it. It's not. They don't show like nudity like that. It's a
So
people.
don't watch it around Thomas. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe not, because it's basically these people, I guess in the 70s or something, go into a weird rural town and they rent a cabin next to a big house, like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, and they do porn in that house, like they're recording porn
In the big
then-
house.
In the little house, yeah. And then in the big house, there's an old couple that lives there, and the old lady watches them and ends up killing them
Because
one
they're
by one.
sinners. Because they're sinners.
Yeah, and the man kills them also. So it was like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre porn kind of weird thing.
Okay.
But
Of
X
course,
could
it's
be
Andrew's
another one.
suggestion.
Yeah, that was Andrew's suggestion because he told me about it before. He's like, "You watch this." Yeah, you know what's funny too? He
What
told
is
me
it
to
on,
watch
Andrew?
it.
Hold on. What is it on?
I don't even know, honestly. I
I
forgot
watched
how
the
I found
bootleg.
out about it.
I watch everything bootleg.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that, when he told me about that, I was like, "Yeah, let me watch it." It was another movie called X, and it was about some weird ass, like, oh, you go into these rich people's houses and they wear masks, so no one's supposed to know who's who, and they do weird sexual stuff. And the leader of it is a girl that's a trans, so she just watches the video and jerks off. It was really weird. I was like, I don't think this is a movie. And I was telling him about it. He was like, yeah, that's
How
not
does
the
that
movie.
work? If you say she jerks off,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that
it's
how
like
that works? I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
confused.
Well,
That's the
it was
only
a
proper way
trans.
to say it.
It was a trans girl man thing. So I was just like, I don't think this is the
So
movie he was talking
confused.
about.
So confused.
But you could try to watch X. I'll watch and maybe we could get some.
And when is Winnie the Pooh coming out?
I don't know.
Probably October.
October?
I doubt it. They would have showed a trailer by now.
No,
All right,
not by
so-
now.
Well, whatever horror movies that you guys run into, just send a message and we'll kind of go from there, okay?
All right.
All right,
Well,
sounds good.
Like, follow, subscribe, motherfuckers. Let's go.
Yay.